If I were to start this belt sander, we'd have a little excitement this morning. I would be wearing this coffee. Oh. How are you today? Did you sleep well? One of the things that I enjoy about my life is to think about people I've known, and I can realize, wait a minute, I was that age when my grandfather did so and such. Well, that's my age now, or my dad did this and this. That was my age now. I don't know why this came to me. I wrote about it in one of my books. I think it's called "The World's Oldest Millennial," and it speaks to the struggle that parents and children have. My dad worked for the man. He was an engineer, and he did things that he didn't really like to do. And I know this because he'd come home and he'd have these terrible, terrible migraine headaches. Every Monday, like clockwork, he'd have a migraine. So there's a lot of different levels of heroism, but for a lot of years he sacrificed a lot of his life, I guess, for his family and for the paycheck. Well, I was paying attention to that, and so when I graduated from college with a speech communications degree, yep, the world needs a lot of speech communicators. I found out that it didn't. Well, I was on crutches. I'd hurt my knee, and I crutched my way into a job interview, and I wheeled in. I was feeling pretty good that day. Wheeled on. I said hi to the receptionist, and I said hi to I was just kind of being myself. I like people, always have. And I happened to run into the manager, the guy who was the ultimate hirer. And he interviewed me, and he said things like, wow, you really are good and an engaging person. You really like people. And he said, well, is it true that you went through college with no debt? It was easier to do back then. I said, yeah, I had a job. We saved money. I had a truck garden. My parents had a truck garden, and he was very, very impressed. And he was the manager of sales at a pharmaceutical company. And I made it through 3 steps of the interview. And he showed me that beautiful headquarters. And I looked at that thing, and it looked a lot like where my dad worked. Anyway, I still think about this man once in a while. He looked at me and he said, you don't want to work here, do you? No. No, I don't. I went home and told my dad that whole story. He said, you said what? Well, Dad, I didn't want to work there. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. He didn't yell. He just got this look of, oh no. What do we have here? So this is years later. I mean, this is maybe 6 years ago. I got all this woodworking equipment, sometimes duplicates. So I've got a planer that's right here. A planer is a wonderful piece of machinery. I put a helical planer blade on it. In other words, very nice. And in the back shed is my grandfather's old bell saw planer, which is a relic. It was a nice machine. I remember it vividly because my grandfather had this finger missing because did he lose it on that? Well, anyway, there's like a guard, kind of like the shape of this, right? It was kind of like a guard that you couldn't see on the back of the guard, and the guard was only to the top of this arc. Behind it is where the planer blades were, spinning around at massive speeds. So if a piece of wood got stuck, your natural inclination is to grab and help pull that in. And the thing you're going to grab is going to take your fingers off at the tips. Anyway, I sent that baby down the road for $1 thin. And the guy bought it right away. Nice guy, interesting guy. Had a conversation with him. And as we're moving it around, he kind of bumped against something, no big deal. And I looked at it, and he's got beneath the skin a welt about as tall as my fingertip and purplish in color. Looked like a leech. And I said, what? I said, oh, it's part of my medication. I've had 3 liver transplants. He threw out that comment like it was common. Oh, 3 liver transplants. I said, what? He said, yeah. I was addicted to beer. Don't tell anybody that you can't be an alcoholic only on beer. I'm proof. I said, what happened? He said, my kids. My kids saved my life. I came home, I think they were like 5. And I saw the look in their eyes, and I said, I don't want to be that guy. And I quit. So circle it back around. Your kid wants to do what they want to do. But if it's just them, they're kind of allowed to do that, just what they want to do. What will change their perspective is probably extra responsibility or extra desire. It turns out I did work for a company a lot like that pharmaceutical company a long time ago. Only by that time, I did not see it as a prison. I saw it as an opportunity, and I was happy to take it. Now, I didn't stay there forever, but it was a very good opportunity for me at the time. So as the older you talks to the younger you, as the parents talk to the children, think about those stories, and maybe they can give you some guidance. I wrote them in a book. There's an orange book and a blue book. I took both of those stories from that. I hope they'll help you. You can find them at my website, ilikethatstory.com. And also there's another video for you, boop, right there. Until we meet, I'm Jeff Gould. God bless.